Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. Rowpaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news. Joining BJ Rains today is KTIK 95.3 FM The Ticket's Mike Prater. Listen to Idaho Sports Talk with Prater in the Ballgame. Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 95.3 FM The Ticket and online at KTIK.com. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now, here's Mike Prater and BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? I went to talk and forgot I wasn't holding the microphone there, Mike Prater. It is a Thursday edition of Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com. I'm in the Cutwater Spirits mobile studios. We're excited. Another good viewership joining us now. Another fun day, plenty to talk about, another beautiful day outside. No football practice today, Mike Prater. So we're able to be at our regularly scheduled 9 o'clock show. We missed it yesterday. Jordan and I were broadcasting from the James out on the patio yesterday. A beautiful day to be outside at the James, but we're home today and excited to talk some football. We're going to talk about what we saw at practices the last week or so. First day in full pads was yesterday, but obviously going to start with conference realignment and what's going on there. We had some news with the ACC last night, but you and I were able to get Gloria Nevarez yesterday, Mike. That was a good, fun interview. We were able to make it work, tag team with the technology here for both KTIK and Bronco Nation News, and I thought we got some good stuff and some great traction on that. But how's it going, sir?
Good. How you doing, BJ? Let's get after it. Another day in paradise, another day of chasing headlines, and I wish we were at practice today. Yesterday was kind of fun. It was Inferno day inside a hot, humid indoor building, and I lost 3 pounds, so that's a good diet for me.
There you go. Yeah, that it was a little warm. It wasn't quite as warm as some of the Inferno practices I remember. I guess they're getting ready for the Memphis game, the Midwest Heat there in September. But yeah, full pads inside, and we'll talk about that moving forward. But we did get a chance yesterday to talk to Gloria Nevarez. That is quickly becoming, I think it's already top 5, Mike, most read stories in the history of Bronco Nation News. It's taken off nationally, and it's been taken off on social media. Our interview is doing very well. It's either, if it's not first, I know it's second. Last time I looked in terms of most watched YouTube videos we've had, and this is in, the last 17 hours or whatever it is. So that's going to continue to rise. But I have a couple of clips we can play and talk about it. But just generally, Gloria Nevarez, willing to do an on-camera kind of video interview like that for 15 minutes. And what were just your general takeaways from our chat with her?
Well, first of all, we appreciate the time. I know when you originally set this sucker up, it was about a 5-minute deal, and she did give us 15 minutes of time, and I thought she was pretty candid. I thought she was pretty straightforward. She didn't give a ton of information, but she gave more information and was more forthright than I thought she was going to be. These commissioners and these athletic directors and these presidents are just, reading, vanilla statements that mean nothing. And she came in pretty strong, and we're ready for Oregon State, Washington State. We want Oregon State, Washington State. They have to do what they have to do, but we've done our due diligence. I think she's really in control of this situation. It's almost like one of those, the hay's in the barn, the prep is in there, and we just got to get ready for game day. So I think she's in a pretty good position. I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to debate that here over the next couple of minutes, but Gloria Nevarez is large and in charge with the Mountain West Conference right now, and I think they're going to come out of this one way or the other just a little bit better.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And there's obviously a lot of things out there. One of the things that stood out to me, Mike, that I hadn't really put a lot of thought into, you had asked the question, and with the AAC and why that'd be appealing for these teams, and just if they're worried about that and how they can't let that happen, lose the PR battle of the AAC teams. And she was quick to point out, Mike, which I don't think's been getting a lot of talk in terms of the fact that the Mountain West TV deal is up in 2 or 3 years, and yes, the American got more money, but they locked themselves into like a 10, 12, 13-year deal. Yep. And I am curious, too, how it works, because the 3 of the premier teams in that AAC deal, Cincinnati, UCF, Houston, are now all gone. So you would have to assume those schools are going to be getting a little less share here over the rest part of that deal, and not be getting their same shares. And unless they had some deal locked in where even if teams leave, you still get your same share. But I mean, that's either way, those 3 teams are now gone, and the AAC doesn't get to do a new TV deal for 10, 12 years. Now you could argue with the Mountain West, hey, ESPN, Fox are paying all this money. You just saw with them, like with what happened with the Pac-12, there's not a lot of dollars out there. But for the Mountain West, I still think that they're in a pretty good spot. They can add some teams here, be attractive, and then go out and renegotiate a new deal in a couple of years. And that seems like that's a selling point for Gloria.
Absolutely, it is a selling point. And I said this from day one. And I always thought that the AAC television contract, when it was first signed, and it was signed in 2021, I believe, maybe 2020, it was for 12 years, $1 billion. And when you read that headline, AAC signs $1 billion media rights package, everybody thought that they just blew past the Mountain West. And I said on this show, I said on Idle Sports Talk, I said it several times that there's no way that that's a better television contract than the Mountain West. They signed for 6 years and half the money. But guess what? In 18 months, they get to renegotiate, and I promise you that that's going to be way more than what the AAC has to offer. So you can't be signing 12-year contracts anymore. I mean, the ACC and the AAC, they're both into the mid-2030s before their contracts come up. So that's a ridiculous number. It's not smart. It's not healthy. And I think the Mountain West is in pretty good shape. They're going to negotiate in about 18 months to 2 years, and they're going to get a decent amount of money. I mean, they're not going to go out and get the money that these Power Fives are chasing, but they'll better themselves, and hopefully if it's Oregon State and Washington State, they'll better themselves a lot.
Well, we'll hear from Gloria Nevarez in just a second. First, want to remind you our interview is brought to you by Taco Bell. TacoBellGivesBack.com can give you more information on the charitable efforts and the philanthropic giving things that Taco Bell is doing in the Treasure Valley and the Boise area. They've donated more than $300,000 or have committed to more than $300,000 in student scholarships, athletic scholarships at Boise State over the next 5 years. So we appreciate Taco Bell. And again, we're offering up a $20 gift card. Prater, they only told me I had 25, but I'm pushing past it. Why stop? I'll beg for forgiveness later. We've only got like 2 left, but we'll just keep it going. If you want a $20 gift card to Taco Bell, just sign up for a 1-year subscription to Bronco Nation News. You pay $70. You don't worry about a payment for the rest of the year. 365 days of Reed and Prater and Jordan and myself, and then we'll mail you a $20 gift card to Taco Bell as well. RowPaint.com, our title sponsor. You heard Coach Leon Rice talking about it up in Canada on one of the post-game shows. He had his garage done recently by RowPaint.com. He is super excited and happy with it. So check them out, ROEPaint.com, for their concrete coatings, 5 times stronger than epoxy, home of the one-day install. You will not be disappointed. I'm heading over to see our friend Jim Sturk today. Always good catching up with Jim Sturk, Mike Prater, and he does a lot of great stuff for Boise State as well with Lithia Ford of Boise. We got some cool things maybe in the works of maybe a future show broadcasting from a vehicle over at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going to put some things together and excited about that. And you can do what the Raines family did, purchase a vehicle from them. Just go to lithiafordboise.com to view their full inventory of vehicles. And I think I've announced it, but if I haven't, Talon Green will be the guest on Tuesday's episode of the Tyson Degenhart Show. They're making him available to the general media on Monday after the scrimmage with Bush Hamden. And then right after that, we're going to go up and tape the interview with Tyson Degenhart up in the recruiting lounge. Mike Prater, I would say probably the 2 faces right now of Boise State athletics, or at least close. Talon Green and Tyson Degenhart sitting together for a one-on-one interview, which will play next Tuesday night. And again, that is courtesy of our friends at Idaho Central Credit Union, so don't miss that on Tuesday night. And Mike, that's going to be a fun conversation. Tyson Degenhart, Talon Green sitting down for a chat.
Nicely done. Yeah, that's a good one. I will. I like to watch all your shows. I love to watch Tyson's show. He does a really, really nice job. He's one of those guys you have to worry about if he's dumb enough to take a job in our profession after he's done playing basketball. He can wash us out of the water. So looking forward to that. That's a good combination. And you said that's next Tuesday night?
Next Tuesday night. Yes, that'll be 8:00 next Tuesday. Speaking of next Tuesday, next Monday night, there's going to be a new show that we're announcing. I'm going to announce it here, Mike, at the end of the show. I hope one of your colleagues has informed you about it. I hope he's informed his boss about it, because I'm hoping that you guys aren't hearing about it for the first time now. But before we get out of here, I was going to do it at 10:00. We've got great viewership. Should we just do it now? Why not? Should we just do it now?
I know what's coming, and bring it on, brother.
Let's just do it now. Why not? I was going to wait till like 9:30 or 10:00, but we're talking new shows, talking what's going on. Bronco Nation News, super excited to announce a new show Monday nights, and I'm actually excited because this is a show that I don't have to host. I'm able to get some other folks involved in this. But Monday night, starting this coming Monday, every Monday night at Bronco Nation News at 8 p.m. on our social media channels, a new show talking college football with our own John Mallory and Mike Sanford Jr., which, by the way, I found out it's not actually Jr. They have different middle names. So he reminded me that people call him Mike Sanford Jr., but it's actually just Mike Sanford. Former Boise State quarterback, was the OC for the Fiesta Bowl, has been at a lot of different stops, but he has taken a break from coaching, maybe for good, and he wants to try the media as an opportunity for him for a career path moving forward, and we're going to give him his first shot here. Ball Talk with Sanford and Johnny, weekly college football and Boise State talk, 8 p.m. every Monday, and it's going to start this Monday at 8 p.m. I know you've had a lot of conversations on the air, off the air, Mike, with Mike Sanford. Obviously knows what he's talking about, and this should be a fun show with him and Johnny.
Yeah, we're talking two great radio guys here. I mean, these guys are going to be fun. They're going to be entertaining. Obviously, Johnny's is spectacular what he does, and Mike Sanford, he's not only just a heck of a football coach and a heck of a dude, he's a pretty good entertainer as well. That's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to walk away from that show and be a lot smarter, and probably a few belly laughs along the way.
Mondays at 8 p.m. It'll start this Monday, and they were already in the group text talking about topics and things about. So they're going to put some serious effort into this. And again, Mike was telling me now that he's not, actually coaching this year, he'll be able to watch all the Boise State games and have more actual analysis and thoughts on the Boise State games. But this is also going to be college football in general. So think about the Rolodex of guests that Mike Sanford can get on. We were talking about Urban Meyer, maybe because of his days with his dad coaching on the Utah staff, and you go down the line, Brian Kelly. I mean, we could get some big-time guests on this show. Excited about it. Mike Sanford, John Mallory, Ball Talk with Sanford and Johnny. And again, every Monday, and it starts this Monday coming up on Bronco Nation News. And even more shows, more cool things in the works moving forward. I know Jordan K has been getting at me to try to get his own show, so we'll see. Everybody wants their own show now, Prater. So whenever you're ready, we can renegotiate your contract as well. But excited for this one. Mike Sanford, again, he was, he's still getting paid by Colorado, and he's still living in the area, but decided, not coaching this year, and told me he may be done coaching. He's looking forward to maybe moving on. He's got some young kids, and the coaching profession is crazy with all the travel and things, and he's moved around a lot. So he is pursuing the media, I think, as an opportunity for him, and we're going to help him hopefully launch a award-winning media career here. So that should be fun coming up.
I think he'd be spectacular with that kind of a career, and certainly less than the grind. And I don't think he needs the money. He's doing pretty well. Colorado and everybody else took care of him. So if you follow him on Facebook and follow the family a little bit, and I do, I know his family just a little bit, and it's a really cool family. He's really into the family thing right now. So it's really cool to see, and I can't wait for that show to start. So Monday night at 8 o'clock, looking forward to that very much.
Well, as I do, I go way off topic and go back and forth here. So I wasn't expecting to do that till the end, but it was might as well. We have good viewership and we got it out there. But back to Gloria Nevarez and the conversation. Here is the quote. You asked her about the situation with the AAC and losing teams, and she starts off talking about what we talked about, the TV deal, and then she gets into why Oregon State and Washington State makes sense for the Mountain West.
American would probably be our counterpart as far as threat. I mean, we're not going to out offer some like a ACC or a Big 10 or a Big 12. So from my perspective, we have a really good thing. We have a linear rights, media rights deal, fully linear, no streaming, that is up in two more years. We'll go to market in 2 more years. It's up in 3. And so we have that, and we have the ability to go to market soon. I think the American has their media rights deal out to 2034, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And geography, certainly you save a lot if you stay within your region. But more importantly, I just think there's a lot of commonality between Oregon State and Washington State if they were to consider us. I mean, you think about the schools in our league, there's a lot of fit there. There's a lot of similar land grant, large public institution, only show in town, really strong fan bases. So again, I don't want to jump in front of the process that Oregon State and Washington State are going through, but we're ready. We're putting a lot of thinking into it, and
She's ready. She's putting a lot of thinking into it, Mike Prater. And I followed up with what I guess became a dumb question, but I just kind of wanted to confirm, if they're ready, or do you guys want them? Have you told them that you want them? I don't know how that works with the unofficial, official offers. I know this, you can't offer it till they voted, and there's just some weird, official things. But behind the scenes, you can basically say, we've got the votes. If you want in, you're in. And she kind of laughed and said, yeah, I think we've made that clear. So what do you make of what she said there?
Common sense. And the right thing to do. And I'm glad that she said it, because you never quite know if the common sense is going to come out of somebody's mouth. So absolutely, it makes sense. And just to clarify, the AAC's television, their media rights contract is through 2032, not 2034, but they got a long ways to go. So the geography element, it just makes so much sense. It really, truly makes so much sense. And I know that you're on top of some Pete Thamel news and some Ross Dellinger news, and those are the two guys kind of leading this, that talking about the ACC and Cal and Stanford. I think my initial gut impression that what was going to shake out, and I don't feel any different. As a matter of fact, I feel more strong about it than ever. Cal and Stanford are going to stay independent, or going to go independent for a couple of years, kind of wait this out, kind of do the BYU thing. If BYU can succeed and come out on the other side and be okay, Cal and Stanford have a little bit of hope, especially Stanford. Cal's a little bit of a different deal. And there's no way that you can convince me that Oregon State and Washington State aren't coming into the Mountain West. I suppose there's that merger thing that's out there that really kind of makes me nervous. I don't like the idea of a merger, but I'm sure Oregon State and Washington State don't like the idea of just coming into the Mountain West. So there'll be some compromise, but at the end of the day, let's hope some common sense comes into play here.
Pete Thamel's report, as he said, the quote is that after ACC presidents met Wednesday night, the pursuit of Cal and Stanford for conference membership, quote, hit significant roadblocks. Sources tell ESPN no vote was taken. Conversations about expansion among the league presidents are expected to continue as they wrestle with the best way to position the league into the future. My understanding, Mike, is it's the 15th, I believe. It's coming up here in the next couple of days. It's next week sometime, early next week, where ACC schools have to inform their conference if they're going to leave the conference to avoid some serious penalties and exit fees and things as well. So there's some thought that the Florida States of the world or whatever, or Clemson's would have to make it, if they're going to leave, would have to be by, I think it's next Tuesday, the 15th. The SEC has basically said that they're not interested in adding anybody right now. So I don't know who would leave, but that is a day that some people are looking at to finalize some of this stuff. It also says that SMU, those conversations with SMU and the ACC, quote, aren't headed anywhere either. So it sounds like SMU also, even though they're willing to come in for free at a lower discounted rate, the ACC, at least the presidents were not, I guess, united, didn't have enough votes. Even if they wanted to vote, they didn't vote, but I guess there's enough people against it right now. Cal and Stanford remain far more appealing to a faction of the league presidents because of their academic and brand value, even though they would not bring in a financial windfall. It says in the article, it says that Stanford's actually been pushing, Notre Dame has actually been pushing to try to get Stanford and Cal in there because they're in there for the other sports. They do get a vote on expansion, apparently, obviously have the long history with Stanford, but I got the sense from Gloria Nevarez yesterday, Mike Prater, that they were kind of waiting on the ACC to figure out what's going on here, and then they're going to decide, okay, now what's best for the Mountain West? Do we try to merge with all four of these teams? Do we just take on the two teams that you mentioned, Oregon State, Washington State? So I would think this speeds up the timetable a little bit for the Mountain West, or now can get Gloria Nevarez really working on some scenarios here if it looks like that, at least in the short term, that's not an option for the ACC. And then I wonder, if SMU looks like they're obviously not happy in the American. I know they were trying to get into the Power 5 conference, so maybe that's not quite as appealing for them to join the Mountain West, but I wonder if it's under the Pac-12 umbrella or whatever, if you try to at least make the call again to SMU, but probably not, but they're at least out there again. But I think this kind of probably speeds up things a little bit, or at least gets Gloria Nevarez able to move on with some of these conversations now that it looks like those teams are not going to the ACC.
Yeah, that's certainly the first roadblock in terms of finding out what Cal and Stanford are doing. And so once that obstacle is cleared, and it sounds like, at least publicly, it might be cleared, you never know what's going on behind the scenes, or things could change dramatically. That's a very fluid story. But once those two are taken care of, that's when Oregon State and Washington State have to kind of come together. Let's talk about this merger, BJ. This merger really makes me nervous. And
I do have the quote at some point when you want to play it, why she thinks it's a good idea, but you can set it up.
And I don't know if you want to play that first, and then you and I can kind of debate it. And I'm not even quite sure where you stand on it, but it just really makes me nervous. And let's play that quote and let's see what she says, and let's you and I get after it a little bit.
The American would probably be our
this is the wrong one. Hold on, we just did that one. That's nothing like great.
Sorry, I put you on the spot.
Nothing like great technology here. Where I played the wrong one here. No, I have merger. Show 1. This should be the one, hopefully. Let's see if I got this correctly here. Merger show. Sorry about that, Mike. Let's try this one again.
Okay. People say the word merger, and it can mean a lot of things. It could be the dissolution of one joining the other, or vice versa, or the dissolution of both creating one new. And all of those have so many different facets to it that require untangling corporations and things way outside my lane. Mergers and acquisitions, liquidity. But to really sum it up, there's a lot of great things about the Pac-12. And if we were in the position to talk about whether to merge or retain, we want to go in eyes wide open. We want to know what all the assets are and what all the liabilities are, and what would be the best for both if we started those conversations.
Your thoughts, Mike Prater?
That soundbite is perfect. That's exactly what she should say. Eyes wide open. Let's go in and find out what all their assets are and what are their liabilities, pros and cons. We've all done that. You take the yellow legal sheet, you put the line down the middle, pros on one side, cons on the other. This is just a grown-up version of exactly that same game we've all played as we grew up as adults. So I got no problem with that. But I just don't understand. First of all, the Pac-12 is going to lose its A5 status, in my opinion, and it might even happen as soon as next week. They're not going to have access to a future CFP. They're not going to have autonomous status. They're not going to have, it's going to be the Big Four on the East Coast, and then it's going to be a whole bunch of nobodies on the West Coast. So I don't really care about chasing the CFP or the A5 status. That's going away. They have said, reportedly, that $200 to $400 million are at stake there. That's a lot of money, and that's where you have to have the serious conversations, and that's certainly not for the Mountain West to get its grubby little paws into that $400 million. That's Pac-12 money. And Oregon State, Washington State, and the two the Bay Area schools have to figure out how to spend that and what's the best way to do that. If you want to go after money, and part of the compromise is getting your hands on some of that money, I guess you have to have that conversation. But the Pac-12 has lost its credibility and brand. It doesn't have any muscle when it comes to the CFP. It's got a little bit of money worth fighting for. Why else would you want to join the Pac-12 right now, BJ?
Yeah, because as you said, I think one of the appeals would be the Power 5 status, but that's gone, right? I mean, you're not keeping that. And so they're really, yes, you'd have the name Pac-12 if that's even what the merger looks like, but you're not keeping that status after the next 2 years, and maybe not even for that.
And is the name, other than that bank account, which is, let's not discredit the bank account, but is that name the best asset they have right now? That's terrible. That's no reason to change. That's no reason to merge. And I'm not saying the Mountain West is this great brand name, but if you put yourself into the Pac-12, if you say took 9 Mountain West teams and put them in the Pac-12, that's a joke of a league. That's an embarrassing league. That's like, come on, it's not the Pac-12, which is a 108-year-old conference that has mighty history. That's ridiculous. So I just don't like the PR look at that at all. I don't like the merger. I think the Mountain West moving forward, getting Oregon State and Washington State, can stand on its own brand. The Pac-12 doesn't even have a TV contract, for crying out loud. You're going over there to do nothing. I just don't get the merger. I don't like the merger, and I hope the merger talk goes away as soon as possible.
So if all that happens is Washington State and Oregon State join the Mountain West, and that's it, that's enough that you see this became a positive development for the Mountain West?
It doesn't hurt. I mean, it's not like Oregon State and Washington State are going to make Mountain West this mighty conference, but I think it'll create a little bit of buzz. It gives Boise State fans a couple of extra games that they're going to love. Are you kidding me? Every single year, you'd have at least one of those teams come to the blue turf, and that's a beautiful thing. And every single year, you can take a road trip to Pullman or Corvallis. I think it helps. I don't think it hurts, and I think that's the compromise at the end of the day, because there's not a lot of options. you don't really have a lot of options here, and that's exactly what's going to happen at the end of the day, I think.
And I think you told me 1% chance, but you don't believe they have any chance of trying to get Gonzaga to join the league, right? Or do you think that would make some sense, right? That's my kind of big picture, like would make the league, that's what I would love to see them try to do. They're not going to the Big 12 now. If the Pac-12 folds, they have nowhere to go. All these other conferences are building themselves up now, and Gonzaga is kind of being left behind if they don't at least try to jump to something a little better. Gloria Nevarez obviously knows the commissioner and the president and everybody, chancellor, whatever it is there at Gonzaga very well. You would think that would be a possible move that I would think makes some sense. We don't think the SMU, Tulane's, Memphis, that's probably not happening, but a regional school like Gonzaga and strengthen your basketball league, I'd be for that.
I'd be for it, absolutely. And I'm sure the Mountain West is for that. Craig Thompson, what was his famous line 6-7 years ago? We left the lights on for you. That hasn't changed just because Craig Thompson's not in the conference anymore. The lights are on. Open invitation. Come on. You can join us any single time. To me, and you know the situation way better than I do, I'm guessing, based on everything I've been told, that Gonzaga has no interest in doing it. Now, that could change. And could they make themselves better coming into a somewhat of a beefed-up Mountain West Conference? It wouldn't hurt them. It's better than the West Coast Conference without BYU. So I'd like to see it happen. I just don't think Gonzaga is interested in making it happen.
Well, let's get some quick thoughts on what we've seen at Boise State practice the first week. But first, want to remind you, the blueandorangestore.com, all that gear for the Washington game. If you're heading up to Seattle, the home opener against UCF, check them out, the blueandorangestore.com. Free shipping, any order over $40. Or if you're in the Boise area, just go to the Boise Town Square Mall. They got all the new hats, sideline apparel, Nike, the new jerseys. Check them out, the blueandorangestore.com. Ridley's Family Markets, 13 locations in the state of Idaho and surrounding states. Check them out, shopridleys.com. Find a location near you. Download their smart app on your phone. Make sure you do that. You get 40% savings with some of the deals they have going on there. And if you're looking for a job, Transportation Compliance Service, check them out, transcompservice.com. Highly recommend if you're looking to get into the trucking industry and need some help with all the permits and things, they can take care of you. Transportation Compliance Service, transcompservice.com. And Mike, I was over at Lean Feast yesterday, and I can report now Lean Feast has agreed to a deal. They are feeding on a weekly basis the football team now. So we've added the football team, the basketball team, Tyson Degenhart, Ashton Genty, you name it, Taylon Green. They're just blowing up now, and you should jump on in while you can. Leanfeast.com/Meridian. You can order online, have it delivered, or just go check them out there at Eagle Road and U-Stick and Meridian. And it's awesome meal prep service. I picked up 4 meals, had one last night, and I got them in the fridge, ready to go. 2 minutes in the microwave today, and I'm eating steak and shrimp and chicken and looking forward to it. So leanfeast.com/Meridian, healthy eating for any diet or any lifestyle, and they can help you out. Again, Lean Feast in Meridian. Final 3 minutes or so here, Mike. Yesterday was the first day in full pads. We've seen you out there at all the practices, obviously, and that was day 6 yesterday. So what any initial thoughts stand out to you from the first week of practice?
Nothing big, and that's good. There's been no injuries whatsoever. Nothing significant that we should be worried about at this point. There's always bumps and bruises this time of year, none of which we're allowed to talk about. So yellow jerseys at practice are very, very scarce. On some days they don't even exist. Austin Bolt, I think he's had a nice couple of days and certainly making a name for himself. It'd be really cool if Austin Bolt just blew up out of the sky and became Boise State's number 3 or 4 wide receiver and was part of the rotation. But he's very active. He looks great, and that's pretty cool. The backfield tandem of Helani and Genty, it's real. It's very real. We had a chance to meet both those running backs yesterday, and they're lining up and doing a lot of different things. Ashton Genty lining up outside, playing wide receiver. If Johnny and I talked about this yesterday at Idaho Sports Talk, wouldn't that be cool? The very first play of the game against Washington, Helani's in the backfield and Ashton Genty is spread out wide with a couple of wide receivers. That'd be kind of fun, and those are the kind of things we're going to see. So the defense looks good. Everybody's looking good. I think it's been pretty smooth so far, BJ.
I second the Austin Bolt talk. He's made a couple of really nice catches that we've seen. He looks healthy. He looks fast out there. He had a funny moment when he had Marco Notarini on him at practice, talking about how fast he was trying to guard him. That was funny the other day, and he's made some great catches. I thought Shea Whiting, I said it yesterday with Jordan, Shea Whiting, number 9, has shown up in a lot of videos and a lot of things as well, and he's another guy that really wasn't talked about in that first group of receivers. Prince Strawn, I thought had a nice catch yesterday in the end zone. Man, if Taylon Green's throwing has gotten just a little bit better this year, and you throw in that running game and what we think we have from these receivers for Boise State, Mike Prater. I mean, this offense, I know we've been saying it has a chance to be good, but it has a chance to be like top 15, top 20 in the country this year.
I think so. I mean, it's going to be really exciting to watch no matter what. And it's really hard to tell how much better Taylor Green has got. He's kind of practicing against there. I'm not smart enough to figure out how much more tight his rotation or his passing formation is. We do know that Taylor Kelly, the old Eagle High School, Arizona State quarterback, he's kind of become the guru of the stars. He's working with Lamar Jackson, Bryce Young, Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's getting retainers, like 6-figure retainers to work with these NFL stars. That's his job now. And Boise State brought him in last week for a couple of days, or at least a day, to work with Taylor Green. So Taylor Kelly's out there trying to fine-tune it. We know that Taylor Green's had Dirk Cutter coaching. Now there's other coaches around there. So they've done a lot, especially outside forces. And it looks like the Bush Hamden, Taylor Green thing, I mean, those guys are attached at the hip at practice. And I really love the way Taylor Green just stands there and looks at Bush in terms of absorbing the information that Bush is giving him. So great start for those guys. But again, they're just practicing against air at this point.
Well, we'll be listening 3 to 6 today. Johnny, Prater, JP, Bob, the whole crew, they'll have you covered for the latest in conference realignment. Anything can happen at any point, and they'll have you covered 3 to 6 today. And then I will join you guys 4 o'clock tomorrow as we talk football and what we've seen so far. There's a scrimmage on Saturday. We'll talk to Andy Avalos Saturday after the scrimmage. And then, as I said, we get Bush Hamden and Spencer Danielson and I believe Taylor Green a week coming up on Monday here in a couple of days to start off next week. So a lot going on, Mike Prater. Again, we're great viewership. I don't know if it was just our good looks or what, Mike, but we're doing we really appreciate all you new folks that have found the YouTube channel, that have found our show. It's been fun this week to really have the increased interest in all the. I looked up at one point in the comments and it said 24 comments that I hadn't looked at, Mike. So apologize if we couldn't get all your comments on the screen. We appreciate you guys for checking us out, and make sure you check out ktik.com. Listen to Johnny and Prater. They do a great job from 3 to 6 weekdays, and our partnership is booming right now with them, and we're excited about that. So thank you, Mike. As always, we'll be looking forward to your next column in the BroncoNationNews.com section, and we're excited, man. It's we're getting closer. Every Thursday with you is a week closer to football season, and it's getting fun here. We appreciate it.
I'll file a column Monday after talking to the big rock stars in terms of the coordinators and Taylor Green, and then tomorrow 4 o'clock on Idaho Sports Talk, the Bronco Nation News Report with you, BJ. So bring some thunder, bring some more than some leftovers. I like leftovers, but bring some new juicy nuggets, and let's get after it 4 o'clock tomorrow on 95.3 FM The Ticket.
Looking forward to it. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to all of our subscribers. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll pop on if something breaks. Got a running back story on Ashton Genty, George Helani from Jordan K. You can read about online as well. But we'll talk to you tomorrow, Jay Tuss, 9 a.m. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.